Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, go to nativeblackancestry.com to schedule a consultation.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment.
All right. Let's get this party started. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're addressing something that's been on a lot of minds lately. Why do so many Africans try to convince Black Americans to move to Africa? I mean, they tell us it's our motherland. They say that we should come back home. But here's the thing. A lot of Black Americans have no direct connection to Africa. Our roots run deep in the Americas. So why are so many Africans pushing this idea, especially when they themselves seem to be doing everything they can to travel to America or over to Europe? But at the same time that they're fleeing en masse from the motherland, they want to try to convince us to go over there? Guys, is this a grand conspiracy? Are they hoping that we fall for the hype and trade places?
More than 200 African migrants have scaled the border fence into the Spanish enclave of Melilla. It's the biggest assault on the border in more than 8 years. The new arrivals, many from Cameroon and Guinea, headed towards the Migrant Reception Centre, celebrating touching European soil. The latest incursion at Melilla brings the number of migrants who've successfully scaled the fence to almost 600 so far this year.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on, guys. Something is definitely going on. It's a strange dynamic, and today we're diving into why this happens. What's the real agenda behind this push to, quote unquote, come home to Africa? Is it about cultural unity, or is there something more at play here? We're going to unpack it all, so stick around and let's figure out what's really going on. Before we jump in, make sure to hit the like button, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into the content.
Gathered to initiate the year of commemoration of one of the most momentous events of history, the commencement of the transatlantic slave trade, which brought tens of millions of Africans to the Americas, North, Central, and South.
All right, guys, I'm sorry. I really want to let the video play, but I got to fact check this lying ass African. Did you hear what he just said, y'all? Did y'all hear him? If you do a simple fucking Google search, the new official number of African slaves trafficked worldwide during the transatlantic slave trade is 12.8 million. 12.8 million. So why is he talking about tens of millions? Guys, I had a genealogy consultation the other day. Swear to God. Swear to God. I had a genealogy consultation with two people back to back, matter of fact. Both of them were born in the 60s. They were elders. And you know what they told me? They said, Mike, when we was coming up in school and college and stuff, they was teaching us that hundreds of millions of Africans were trafficked during the transatlantic slave trade. Hundreds of millions. Now the official narrative has changed from hundreds of millions to 12.8 million. And this African president of Ghana hasn't got the memo because he's up here promoting tens of millions, y'all. Tens of millions. First of all, it was 12.8. And we know it's probably even less than that. And out of those supposed 12.8, over 60% went to South America, Brazil. So go tell them Afro-Latinos to go back to Africa. Over 40% went to the Caribbean. So go tell the Jamaicans to come back to Africa. Less than 4% of the African slaves went to the 13 colonies. But he gonna get up here talking about some, hey, Black Americans, we need y'all to come over here, spend some money, maybe move here.
We know of the horrors that accompanied that forced journey. We know of the brutalities that were meted out to them during their stay in the Americas. We know of the great difficulties they have encountered in attempting to assimilate and live.
Wait, hold the fuck up. Don't you ever throw dirt on our ancestors' name talking about some fucking assimilate. Assimilate what? Assimilate who? Assimilate where? We ain't never assimilated. You Africans try to assimilate with European culture and custom. We got our own shit. We are globally revered for our individualistic nature and our cultural phenomenons that we create. Our culture is synonymous with American culture. We're so impactful on the global scale. And he really tried to slide in there some slick shit about, oh, we know how hard it was for them to assimilate. We ain't never tried to fucking assimilate.
We know of the brutalities that were meted out to them during their stay in the Americas.
How if you weren't there?
We know of the great difficulties they have encountered in attempting to assimilate and live and maintain their dignity in the Americas. We know of the extraordinary achievements and contributions they've made to the life of the Americas.
Damn, that's wild, y'all. Have y'all thought about that? Have y'all thought about how we were reclassified, made slaves on our own land, hit with misnomer and misnomer and misnomer, and throughout all that, taught ourselves to read and write, and came out with thousands of inventions that are impactful on a global scale, and at the same time, them Africans have been free for the last 400 years, and they ain't done shit. Why are the people who were in bondage accomplishing more than the people who are free? And now they want us to bring some of that talent over there. Nah, we good.
And it is important that in this symbolic year, 400 years later, we commemorate their existence and their sacrifices. It was in anticipation of the year of commemoration that my great childhood friend, colleague, and associate, the late Jake Otanka Obecha-Bilemte, then Minister of Tourism in President John Agyekum Kufuor's government, a government of which I was part as foreign minister, launched in celebration of Ghana's Golden Jubilee, the Joseph Project, the project that identified the need to symbolize the return of the prodigal son who was lost and found. I would like to dedicate this whole ceremony and this to his memory. He insisted on granting easy visas to all returnees.
Guys, this is a tourism scam. This whole year of return, come back to the motherland. They want our money. They are poor. They're looking for a handout. And have any of you guys ever even looked into this president of Ghana? Most likely not, because we don't care about no Africans. But guys, I just did a little bit of digging. Check this out. Check this out. You know, they want to talk about Africa's the motherland and come back and we're going to give you a visa. Let's see how much of a proud African this president of Ghana is. His name is Akufo-Addo. He's born and raised in Accra. He receives his primary education in Accra. Then he goes to the United Kingdom for his secondary education. Oh my gosh, he's such a proud African, but his parents sent him to the colonizer's kingdom to go get an education. Lord. Even returns to the UK to study law and is called to the bar in England. Motherfuckers out there practicing law in Paris, France. But he's going to act like he a proud African to us when he needs some tourism dollars. Y'all see how it works now, right? Y'all see how this works? We Native Black Americans, we ain't got no ties to no Africa. And the few of us that do have African admixture, What do you think they rock with most? The indigenous culture that adopted them and took them in, or the Africans that enslaved them and then sold them to Europeans for trinkets? Let's talk about it. I still ain't even heard an apology from the Africans for the transatlantic slave trade. They started it. It's called a trade, motherfucker. The Europeans didn't sneak into Africa and steal a bunch of Africans. If they did that, it wouldn't be called a trade. The Europeans didn't come with military might and steal any Africans. If they did that, they call that an invasion or warfare. But guys, is it dawning on you for the first time in your life that this is a African slave trade? There's two consenting parties, the slave trader and the one purchasing the slave. The only one that's non-consensual is the slave. But they really make it out to this day that like the white man snuck over there and stole a bunch of Africans and the Africans just couldn't do anything about it. But Africans don't talk about their role in the transatlantic slave trade. Africans have been starting slave trades since the beginning of time. In the 6th century, they had something called the Arab slave trade. Look it up. They sold their fellow Africans to the Arabs in the Middle East. And guess what the Arabs in the Middle East did, guys? They cut off their dicks and balls and made them eunuchs. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. In the 6th, 7th century, it's called the Arab slave trade. The Africans sold their fellow African to Arabs who cut off their dick and balls. So is it any surprise that this is how the Africans try to get over on us?
And that we should give force to the right of abode. I think it's the duty of my government to do both of those things in commemorating of next year. But I would like to say in conclusion that the most important consequences of all the activity we're here to initiate is that together on both sides of the Atlantic, we will work together to make sure that never again will we allow a handful of people with superior technology to walk into Africa, seize our peoples, and sell them into slavery.
I wonder if you know that I know he's lying right now. Oh, you got the new Margellas? That's what's up, that's what's up. I see you. That's your BMW? That's nice. That's your girl? Golly. Okay, I see you. But I just want to know one thing. You ready? Why the fuck you lying?
I told you guys, I warned you, didn't I? Didn't I just tell you guys moments ago that these Africans try to paint the picture that the white man just snuck in and stole some motherfuckers, right? He just said, never again will we let somebody with superior technology take our people and make them. Motherfucker, you sold them. They didn't take nothing. They gave you gunpowder, muskets, mirrors, beer. Fair exchange is no robbery. Y'all were complicit. Y'all were business partners with the Europeans for hundreds of years. And then after they had enough of that partnership, they colonized your dumbasses. And now you want to rewrite history and make it seem like they snuck in and forced y'all to sell some niggas.
Important consequences of all the activity we're here to initiate is that together on both sides of the Atlantic, we will work together to make sure that never again will we allow.
Oh yeah, and before we even get into the lies for a second time, shout out to Love Tash Beauty. She says a lot of them 2019 Year of Return Blacks are on YouTube telling their horror stories. Yes, I've interviewed several Black American women on my channel that moved to Ghana, moved to different parts of Africa, were scammed. Their lives were at risk. Some of them come up missing. Some of them get murdered. Yeah, but they want us to come back to the motherfuckers that sold us. Some of us, most of us are Aboriginal, but those of us who have African admixture, why would we want anything to do with some Africans?
To initiate is that together on both sides of the Atlantic, we will work together to make sure that never again will we allow a handful of people with superior technology to walk into Africa, seize our peoples, and sell them into slavery.
Every time you tell me something, I figure that you're lying. Ooh, it's almost like you faking. Oh yeah, yeah, I know you're lying, but you sound excited. And you know that I know that you lying, oh girl.
My name is Frances Tuck, and I contacted Mike from Mike TV on YouTube because I wanted to find out about my family's Native American history that I believed existed. Through the research that I was able to do through Mike TV, I was able to find out that our name is indeed on the registry. I had a consultation with Mike today, and because of his advice and the research that he has done, I am now confident that I'm able to find my family's roots in the Native American History database. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, guys, I'm a bit of a historian. Let's go ahead and take a look at if there's any truth to what these Africans are talking about. The president of Ghana is talking about people with significant technology, superior people with superior technology seize their people. No, motherfucker, y'all was some backwards ass people, and you exploited your own countrymen and sold them to foreigners. Guys, I hope this dawns on you properly. Africans are the only people on planet Earth that have sold their own people into slavery to be exported to foreigners. Have you ever heard of Asians enslaving their fellow Asian and selling them to Europeans or Africans or Arabs? No. Have you ever heard of an Arab selling their fellow Arab to a European or an African or an Asian man? No. Guys, only Africans sell their own people to foreigners. That's how backwards they are. But they got the nerve to try to flip the script. All right. Let's see if there's any truth to it, y'all. Let's see. Did the white man come in there with superior technology and seize the people of Africa, or is Africans seizing their own fellow countrymen? Hold up, foul on the play. I thought it was the white man sneaking in the bushes of Africa. I see the African in the bush. What's this African in the bush about to do? Oh, Lord, and there's an African behind him with a gun. You don't say. All right, guys, any minute now. Any minute, we're going to see a bunch of white folks with guns steal these Africans and force them onto slave ships. Any minute now, some white folks is going to jump out the bushes and steal these Africans and make them slaves. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. What is this? What is going on? Wait. These are Africans chasing other Africans. What is happening right now?
Creep on in, on in, on in.
What is this? What? I thought it was the white man who stole them. I thought it was the white man with superior technology seizing the people of Africa. Damn. Truth is stranger than fiction. Truth is much, much stranger than fiction. Let's see where the Europeans finally come into play. Let's see how long it takes for some Europeans to enter the scene. Any Europeans yet? Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna skip ahead. I don't see any Europeans yet. There's a painting of Europeans, but where do the Europeans come into play? Where do the here come the Europeans. They're sailing to the west coast of Africa, And what happens once they get there? What happens? Do they steal some? Whoa, wait a minute. We got an African dressed up as a European. I almost mistook him for a white man. He got on the coat and everything with a gun. Oh, Lord. So the Africans are forcing other Africans into bondage. Okay. Do tell more. Do tell more. Oh, and here come the Europeans. Damn, wait. Are these Europeans coming in with superior technology, forcing Africans to hand over their people? Or does this look like a trade?
To an audience
from Europe and America learned how to comply with the lengthy negotiation rituals.
After making us wait 12 days, King Keppel finally agreed to an audience. I decided to take the ship's surgeon along with me. For him, it would be an edifying experience, as he had never visited these parts before, and I doubt that he had any idea of how negotiations were conducted. I hadn't told him a thing.
Oh shit, negotiations. They're negotiating. Whoa, I thought the president of Ghana said that someone with superior technology seized people. It looks like Africans selling Africans to Europeans.
What do you need, Captain?
300 parrots and mules, half in pieces of Indian cloth.
Munuma loolu nekku fi munuma ko jox lu weesu téeméeru bopp ak juróom benn fukk wala ñaari téeméeri bopp.
I can only give you between 160 and 200 pieces.
Then allow me to trade with the natives.
Damn, he has to ask permission to even trade. He got to ask this little greasy mushmouth motherfucker, hey, can you give me permission to trade with the natives for some slaves?
Dinaa ci xalaat.
I'll consider it.
Hey, history is stranger than fiction. They be running around dick riding Mansa Musa. They don't talk about how he was one of the biggest slave traders. They talk about how he traveled from city to city with so much gold, he destabilized economies. They don't talk about the hundreds of thousands of slaves who traveled in his caravan. Come on, let's talk about it. But these Africans gonna act like someone went over there and seized some people. Nah, y'all was doing some Grammy business. Some real Grammy business. And now we got this African dude, the one on the screen. I think his name is Dejimu. I'm familiar with him from like Blood Diamond, Fast and Furious series. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy, Rebel Moon. He's a pretty successful African actor over here in America. Key part over here in America. But let's see what he has to say about Black Americans. Let's see if this is a part of a larger conspiracy to convince us to go to a place that they're fleeing from.
Do you get interested in this work to start with?
Well, I think my acting work really sort of like opened my eyes. So I came to America at the age of 23, and I felt this profound disconnect with African American.
Maybe you felt profound disconnect because y'all was coming over here acting xenophobic.
The inspiration came really, and the awareness came from when I started making this film with, that was directed by Steven Spielberg, called Amistad.
And what poundage do you imagine the entry may refer to, sir? A mast and sails, perhaps? Give us free. Give us free.
As I was doing research for the film, I became profoundly aware of the disconnect of Afro-descendants from their roots and culture. And I had this compelling...
Okay, so he says he comes over here to our country, feels disconnected with us, and then he plays a slave in a movie one day, and now he feels connected to us. Do tell more.
Need to do something for my people, for my continent, and that was really what compelled me to start my so many years later to start my foundation.
The Jimon Hunsu Foundation does a lot of work here in making that connection between Africans and the Black diaspora.
One of the attributes of the foundation is Africa Reconnect, is to strengthen Africa's intergenerational identity and self-awareness by bringing the people, by reconnecting the people of the African diaspora to the motherland, to the history and ancestral.
Hey, that might be your mother's land. It ain't mine. Stop the cap, Playboy. Stop the cap. We can trace our roots to the Americas, to the 1600s. Stop it. I've done genealogy work for hundreds of Black Americans. Guess what? I've only found 2 that had African heritage. And it wasn't that much of a surprise. One of their parents came from the Caribbean. Another one of their parents came from Canada. And before Canada, they came from the Caribbean. So it's like, when we look through the documentation, most of us do not have African roots. But here he is perpetuating this come back to the motherland scheme.
Roots and culture.
You're in a unique position because you straddle both worlds. You live here in the US, you're from Africa. There's a lot of...
Oh, yeah, he wants to reconnect us with the motherland, but he don't want to live in the motherland, right? He wants to live in America, but convince us to go to Africa. Are you guys understanding the play here? Are you guys finally picking up what I'm putting down? From the president of Ghana to this actor, to many others. There's a lot of YouTubers online even trying to do these come to Africa tours and whole time they're tourism scams. I hope you're starting to see the larger conspiracy at play. These motherfuckers used to be business partners with the Europeans, selling some of us as slaves, and now they turn around and try to convince us to come back to the motherfuckers who sold us in the first place.
disconnect between African Americans and Africans, a lot of misunderstanding on both sides. Why do you think that is?
It's mostly due to the lack of knowledge, because we don't know about our history. We don't know about ourselves. Sometimes when you address an...
Motherfucker, are you French? I say again, motherfucker, are you French? Who is we? You are an African born in Africa who migrated over here for an acting career. Who the fuck are you to talk about we don't know our roots, we don't know ourselves? Who are you talking? Please tell me he slipped into some French dialect. Please tell me he first fled to France and then he made it over to America.
Is to strengthen Africa's intergenerational identity and self-awareness by bringing the people, by reconnecting the people of the African diaspora to the motherland, to the history and ancestral roots and culture.
You're in a unique position because you straddle both worlds. You live here in the US, you're from Africa. There's a lot of disconnect between African Americans and Africans, a lot of misunderstanding on both sides. Why do you think that is?
It's mostly due to the lack of knowledge, because we don't know about our history. We don't know about ourselves. Sometimes when you address an African American about, you know your origins, or do you know your backstory? Most of them don't know, and most of them,
No, most of us do know. Most of us know who our parents are, where our parents are from, where our grandparents are from, where our great-great-grandparents are from. Most of us know we're indigenous to the Americas. No, African, try again. Stop it. We ain't gonna let no Africans sit up on a national stage and talk greasy about us. You're not the spokesperson for Native Black Americans. You're not of our culture, not of our ilk, not of our lineage. You are a foreigner to us. Stop it. We don't let foreigners speak on our behalf.
Bringing the people, by reconnecting the people of the African diaspora to the motherland, to the history and
thank you, Ty Dash. Where's the proof of American blacks are straight from Africa? Why pick on us when there are blacks from all over the world that aren't fleeing to Africa? Thank you. The transatlantic slave trade really did happen. Guess where most of the slaves went? Brazil. But he's not on Brazil national television saying, hey, Afro-Latinas, come back to Africa. Why? Because they poor. They ain't got no money. And the come back to Africa thing is a tourism scam. The second largest destination that the African slaves were shipped was the Caribbean. But he's not going to the Caribbean to try to convince African Jamaicans to go back to the motherland. Why? Because they ain't got it like that. But Black Americans, on the other hand, oh, yes, he wants to try to convince us to go.
Ancestral roots and culture.
You're in a unique position because you straddle both worlds. You live here in the US, you're from Africa. There's a lot of disconnect between African Americans and Africans, a lot of misunderstanding on both sides. Why do you think that is?
It's mostly due to the lack of knowledge because we don't know about our history. We don't know about ourselves. Sometimes when you address an African American about, you know your origins, or do you know your backstory? Most of them don't know, and most of them, if you tell them that you're somewhat, it's impossible that you're from anywhere, any place else outside of the continent of Africa. They seem to want to refute that understanding, and that's part of the disconnect. So.
It's not that we're refuting an understanding, is that we know our roots, and our roots are not African, you fucking imbecile. What are you talking about? Oh, wherever you try to tell a Black American that they come from somewhere other than America, they refute that understanding. No, it's because our granny told us where we come from, and it wasn't no goddamn Africa. I've got my family tree mapped on my father's side to the early 1800s, on my mother's side to the late 1700s. No Africans. All these folks for generations been living in America. Matter of fact, on my father's side, y'all see this dude right here? I'm not sure if you guys can see this dude. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Can I make it a little bit bigger? If anything, it looks a little smaller. Hold on, guys. I'm going to try to fix this real quick. I'm freestyling now. Allow me to freestyle with you for a moment. Check this out. Check this out. Y'all see this dude right here? Thomas J. Adams Harcho? Even though that's a black and white photo, I mean, clearly that's a Black man. I mean, clearly this is a melanated man. I wonder, is this dude an African? Does Mike have an African, a part of his family tree? Who is this dude right here? Wait a minute. Melanin? Yes. African? I don't see no African phenotype. Hold up, y'all. So we do the digging, we do the genealogy, we come across our ancestors. We say, you know what? Let's search through some databases. And you know what happens when Black Americans start doing genealogical research on their ancestors? We find our ancestors were card-carrying American Indians. Isn't this Thomas Adams right here? Listed on what? Listed on what? Creek Nation, Creek Roll. Handwritten, scanned document, January 13th, 1900. All right. 57 years old. Gender, male, blood quantum, fool. Oh, damn. I mean, we know blood quantum is a racist ass colonial project, but let's do some more digging. Africans can't pull no records on their family like this. But hold up, I see a Dawes roll number, 2145. Do tell more. If I come over here to the Dawes roll, 2145, let me see. Thomas J. Adams, 57 years old, male, full-blooded. Blood quantum is full-blooded Creek Indian by blood. This is an example of some of our ancestry. But wait a minute, reclassification is a hell of a thing, because check this out. If we come over here to his profile that I got built out on Ancestry.com, let's go to a federal census record. We got him on the Dawes roll as a full-blooded Creek Indian, but when it comes to the United States Census record of 1900, they list him as Black. Oh, damn. Not Mike showing you proof in 4K of some of us having Indigenous ancestry that was reclassified as Black, even though they're 100% American Indian with zero African admixture. But now y'all see the reclassification efforts, right? Now y'all see why the first thing that I show you on my website, nativeblackancestry.com, the first thing you see on the homepage is a clear timeline of racial reclassification of our people. 1492, we become Indian. 1682, Negro. 1851, colored. 1960, Black. 1988, African American. And if you've yet to trace your family lineage, hit me up. I'm here to help.
How you doing? My name's Major Wright. I just got done with my consultation with Mike. If you trying to trace your ancestry, Mike is a good first step to go through. He's going to break it down to you, all 3 steps to get you what you need. And if you want somebody to maybe do the research for you, you pay that price and Mike can help you too. But yes, he will fill you up with knowledge that you never knew and give you all the things like those unanswered questions in your head throughout time. Talk to Mike, man. He's a great dude. I believe in Mike.
My foundation, one of the leg of Africa Reconnect, is to organize curated trips to for young African Americans from the age of 18 to 29 to visit.
Oh boy, so yet another cliche back to Africa tourism scam. Oh, we're gonna organize trips for you guys to come visit Africa. You see how they have to try to guilt trip us to go to their country? We got so much in the Americas, y'all. I'm ready to go to Central America, South America, check out some Olmec heads, some Mayan temples. I'm ready to go to Miami, maybe go to Philly, go to the East Coast. I mean, ain't nobody trying to go to Africa. But guess what? I firmly believe in being the change you want to see in the world. So with all these people doing these African tourism scams, I said, you know what? I'd like to put together some kind of tourism opportunity, some kind of Native Black American history tour of sorts. So guys, you're getting a little sneak preview. I'm not making the official announcement until I finish this commercial I'm working on. Okay, the official announcement comes Friday. But on Friday, I will be announcing the first of many history tours. And the first one that we're doing is in Oklahoma, Tulsa to be exact. We're going to be touring historic Black Wall Street, speaking with the mayor, looking at some indigenous cultural sites and everything in between. And Lord, oh Lord, I can't wait for it. It's going to be going down in April. So if any of you guys are interested, before I've even formally made the announcement, some of you guys can be some early birds and reserve your spots by just sending me an email, mike@nativebblackancestry.com. But y'all, this is wild. Let's get back to the topic at hand. We got old boy talking about you guys are from Africa, connect with your roots, and I'm gonna lead a tour back to Africa.
Diaspora, to the motherland, to the history and ancestral roots and culture.
You're in a unique position because you straddle both worlds. You live here in the US, you're from Africa. There's a lot of disconnect between African Americans and Africans, a lot of misunderstanding on both sides. Why do you think that is?
It's mostly due to the lack of knowledge, because we don't know about our history. We don't know about ourselves. Sometimes when you address an African American about, you know your origins, or do you know your backstory? Most of them don't know, and most of them, if you tell them that you're somewhat, it's impossible that you're from anywhere, any place else outside of the country.
All right. I've had enough of him. But guys, this is a running theme. This whole guilt trip to go visit Africa. And coincidentally, it's always by Africans that live over here in America full time.
It says something that was going to help boost Africa's economy is if African Americans
start going
go
over
back.
It's 100%. I think Africa will start to become to its fullest potential when y'all all go back home.
Right.
Oh, so you got an African continent with dozens of African countries, mineral resources, cobalt, gold, oil, diamonds, you name it, but y'all can't build Wakanda until Black Americans come over there? Okay. All right. Do tell more. I'm going to run that back from the beginning. They snitching on themselves. Talking about the economic development of Africa once Black Americans come over. Okay. All right, Playboy.
It says something that was going to help boost Africa's economy is if African Americans
start going
go
over
back.
It's 100%. I think Africa will start to become to its fullest potential when y'all all go back home.
Right.
Like, and even y'all,
right.
What's interesting is that everything that y'all fighting for over here,
right.
you get on a silver platter over there. Like, it's like you guys want to suffer. Like, y'all want to just be.
And Akon says, and I quote, Everything that y'all are fighting for in America, y'all could have in Africa on the silver platter. It's like y'all want to be down bad. Y'all want to be fucked up. What are you talking about? Y'all don't even have Wi-Fi and paved roads. Why would we go from the global powerhouse of the world to a third world shithole? Sometimes we feel sorry for you guys, so we call you developing nations nowadays. Instead of calling you third world fly-infested shitholes, nowadays we have empathy and we call you developing countries. Why would we want to go from the first world to the third world? Why would someone who live in Beverly Hills want to move to Compton? That's hustling backwards. We're not falling for it.
Because you don't have to be. It's like, believe me, they wouldn't want nothing better than to ship all y'all back to Africa. But they're not even knowing this for y'all best interest. Y'all would actually be better off.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Wow. No more crying, no more like marching, no more getting killed.
No more crying, no more marching.
By cops.
No more getting killed by cops. Y'all got genocide every day in Africa. Fathers selling their daughters to child sex trafficking networks, women getting their genitals mutilated, women coming up missing. Y'all doing the most backwards, debaucherous shit over there, and you gonna tell us that we should stop fighting in our homeland to go over there? Meanwhile, lo and behold, this is chickens coming home to roost, because just like I said from the jump, this is all a scam. And Akon, it turns out, he was making these little comments and shit because he was promoting a scam. He said that he was going to build a city. He got like $1 billion line of credit from the Chinese government and said he was going to build a city in Africa, and it turned out to be a goddamn scam.
And let's start off with that, because last time you were here, you're saying that Akon City was supposed to open in 2026.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit, and
right.
So where is Akon City at right now?
We're still on track.
Alioune Damala Badara Akon Thiam, famously known as Akon, has given up on his previous music career to pursue bigger dreams in entrepreneurship. I guess the music industry just wasn't cutting it. As of recent, he's transitioned to projects in Africa based around technology and solar power, but there's not much transparency.
And shout out to Ty Dash. Yeah, Ty, that's right. We American until proven African. I don't care if y'all have traced your lineage yet or not. I don't care if y'all book a genealogy consultation with me or not. Until you do that research and you find some Africans in your family tree, by default, you are American Indian.
Surrounding his work, but don't be fooled. I'm sure we're in good hands. After all, we're talking about Akon here, and he has big plans for the future. In a genuinely devised plan, or a midlife crisis as I would describe it, Akon is building his very own city known as Akon City, which is estimated to cost north of $6 billion. To be honest, I'm just surprised Kanye didn't beat him to it first. Akon chose his homeland, Senegal, as the land to erect his wondrous new city, which has led many to compare it to Dubai or the African fantasy city, Wakanda. I bet...
Come on. Shout out to Jay. Jay says, if everything is already in Africa, why do the Africans not have any of them? Exactly. It'd be different if we saw evidence of Wakanda, if y'all was living good, and y'all was like, hey, come over here, y'all be better off. But y'all flee to our home and tell us how good you had it at your home, and we should trade places with you and go to your home while you want to live in our home. What?
You would too if you saw the promotional video posted 2 years ago. Wow, look at this. Honestly, this looks pretty dope. I would live here. Is this the new roller coaster tycoon? These aren't even...
Yeah, Tech, you know these Pan-Africans love doing these school scams. Umar Johnson does the school scam. Akon was like, hold my beer, Umar. I mean, hold my fufu, Umar. I'm going to do a whole city scam. He saw Umar Johnson was making a couple million with the school scam, and he said, hold up. Let me make a city scam.
In buildings, though. What are these structures? Are we capable of creating these? Oh, thank God. It's only 100 kilometers away from Dakar. I was getting worried. Bro, the buildings look like intestines. Akon must have played one game of Halo Wars as the Covenant, and this was his semen-induced fever dream. Who does he think he is?
Okay, hold on. Semen-induced fever dream is diabolical. Wait a minute. Leave it to some pink bellies to say some out-of-pocket comments. Hold on. I ain't watched this before.
It's bending the laws of space and time itself. I just realized, bottom left corner, we have bad consultant. That gives me hope. Listen, if he can pull this off, all the more power to him. Yeah, I'm buying a ticket to Akon City. However, something tells me that we're not quite there yet. I don't know, it's just this small little inkling, this voice in my head. All right, we get the point. But I mean, talk about an engineer's nightmare. It's like I'm watching a futuristic Sims trailer. It's like an art student's senior thesis. There's no way anyone actually thought it would look like this, right? I mean, it looks great if you're into accordion architecture and pappardelle noodle buildings. It looks like stacks of dirty laundry plopped on top of each other. But hey, it's a trailer. We gotta see more. If we go to the website, aconcity.com, menu, they got this nice districts tab, right? Let's see here. We got African Culture Village, offices and residential, entertainment district, health and safety, education district, technology district, and the Sennawood district. Apparently, Akon Tower is in the Sennawood district. And if you couldn't guess already, you can grab a beer at the Akon Club. Maybe even get grinded on by Akon himself. I mean, we gotta check out the African Culture Village. Pretty sleek website design. Gotta hand it to him, man. So here's like the main hub of Akon City, right? And then conveniently connected to it is the African Culture Village by this land bridge, except it looks like there's some holes. You might want to get that patched up. The last thing you want is residents of Akon City falling into the abyss while they're just trying to learn some history. And then above it, we can't even click on this zone. Maybe we haven't progressed far enough in the Akon City Battle Pass, or maybe we gotta reach a higher...
Come on, guys. These Africans think they're a lot smarter than they are. We see the playbook. They flee from Africa to America, get rich and successful off of the foundation that our ancestors have paid for them. Then they try to convince us to go to Africa while they stay here and reap the benefits.
Level. I'm curious, what's going on up here? The last thing I want to find out is that this is where the blood sacrifices happen after I bought my virtual ticket. According to Akon City, all phases of construction will be done in 2029. There are 2 phases in total. Supposedly, phase 1 of Akon City should be finished relatively soon by 2026, allowing thousands of tourists to come and relax, see the sights, eat some food, and vibe out. They intend to have roads, hotels, malls, a hospital, police station, school, waste facility, and a solar power plant all finished by 2026, which is interesting because that's quite a lot to undertake in 3 years. And phase 2, the final phase, is set to be done by 2029. It's assumed that this phase would include housing, offices, maybe some restaurants, more amenities, and of course, they also have a hair treatment center, which is why today's video is sponsored by Keeps. Keeps is a subscription service.
Wait a minute, how they got a hair treatment center and most of them is bald? I'm perplexed. I'm confused. What is going on, y'all?
This whole Akon City fiasco became such a big deal that there are even plans to create a second Akon City in Uganda. However, there was just one problem that no one saw coming. C-19. This halted production for a bit, and Akon at one point blamed C-19 for pushing everything back. However, later he contradicted himself, saying that things were actually on track. Okay, so let's get this straight. Akon City, the one in Senegal, is supposed to be finished in 3 years, well, at least phase 1, in 2026. No delays, no problems. There should at least be something complete, right? Maybe a crew, some scaffolding. How about some orange cones?
Please tell me they at least broke ground. Please tell me they've at least broke ground. Someone at least took a shovel and picked up a pile of dirt. At least that.
No. How about a single stone? The following clips are from YouTube channel TD Hip Hop Media on their video, Akon City, Senegal is in shambles, nothing but dust.
Let's go to a year later in 2022. Oh man, goddamn.
is dust with cinder blocks. Why they got the cinder blocks over there? I think somebody was low-key hating. They just put the cinder blocks there just to be bogus. What I'm going to show you right now is a current photo of Akon City, okay? Boom. What happened, Akon? What happened? They even stole the cinder blocks. They said, well, let me put these cinder blocks to good use right quick because Akon City ain't popping anytime soon. This is horrible. My goodness. So Akon placed a single Minecraft block and walked away. Job done. Funny enough, in a BBC News article, Akon admitted to wanting to retire here. He even went on to say, I don't like to use the word king of the city, but that's what it will turn out to be.
Had my genealogy consultation with Mike today. I highly recommend it. He has a lot of information that will probably, you know, he's a great guy, and I believe he's trustworthy. Very, very trustworthy.
Called Akon City, What Did Anyone Expect? And I'm starting to think I was right about this being a narcissist's midlife crisis. The icing on the cake is the fact that Akon believes the central currency of his city, wait for it, should be his own cryptocurrency, Acoin.
And the whole thing is going to be run off Acoin?
Come on. We got a motherfucker whose name is literally Akon. I don't know if he's Nigerian, but if he is, then that would just really be the cherry on top. Your name is Akon. Your city is Akon, a long con at that. Umar Johnson was the one that taught us what a long con looks like. And you want the city to be ran off of a cryptocurrency called Acoin? You can't make this shit up. A African doing Akon with a fake city and a coin.
Well, the cryptocurrency?
Yeah, the cryptocurrency, Acoin. You could say the city's financial infrastructure would be built off the Acoin platform.
Yeah.
But the controversy doesn't end here. Akon took full responsibility for the poorly managed start to his city, but that didn't save him.
People sometimes will write articles about, oh, this is not going to happen. Something like this could never happen in Africa. It's been 2 years. The construction hasn't started. I hear that all the time. We're building a city. You don't build a city in 24 hours.
They literally say Rome was not built in a day.
But if you don't have the knowledge to understand that you have to do feasibility studies, you have to do environmental studies, like it's all kind of studies just before you put a building that's going to be 120.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't he sound exactly like Umar Johnson? It's like they have the same government handler or something. You get involved in a long con, then when you don't meet the first anticipated deadline and people start doubting the legitimacy on what you crowdfunded for, then you say, but guys, you've never done this and it takes, and you need the permits, and guys, trust me, it takes longer, and I know how long it takes, but still I estimate it wrong, but still trust me, you don't know and I know, so chill, y'all, just chill. It's coming, family, it's coming.
Feet in the air in one swat. What makes you think that area right there could even hold that kind of weight? It takes research for that. And all that has to be done first before you can even think to even create a master plan for construction. But if you don't know that, you think it's just all talk and trash and marketing.
A previous business partner accused Akon of planning to run his city like a Ponzi scheme. These accusations were made by Devin Stevens, a music executive in the United States who filed a $4 million lawsuit against Akon and requested a court to freeze Akon's assets. Stevens' lawyer described Akon City as, quote, broken promises with almost no transparency about who is investing or how it will be purportedly built. Therefore, Akon City is likely a scam. If you don't believe...
Damn, say it ain't so. So is this what Africans want us to go back to the alleged motherland for? To get scammed? We're not falling for it. Guys, I don't have a passport. And I'm in no rush to get a passport. You know what I think? I'll probably get a passport by the end of the year. Why? Because I want to go to South America. I'm pretty sure you need a passport for that. Other than that, I could be content with never leaving the Americas. I can go to the East Coast, Southeast, down South, Midwest. We got Mexico, South America, Caribbean islands, Hawaii. I mean, I'm so content in the Americas. We ain't going to let no mushmouth backwards ass Bush baby try to convince us to go to the place where nobody wants to be.
Believe a U.S. attorney, then maybe you'll believe a retired federal agent, Scott Thomason, who investigated Akon City. He concluded that the city contained, quote, many of the trademark characteristics or red flags of fraudulent business ventures, such as Ponzi and pyramid schemes. Akon's defense is that all of this is speculation or innuendo, but I think the single slab of stone says otherwise. If we use our friend Google Maps, there actually is a place called Akon City in Senegal. However, it's 80 miles north of where it's actually, supposedly, being built. Somewhere in the middle of this arid desert is a single block of greatness where civilization will thrive. You know, it could be this one, could be this one. It's anyone's game. You know what? Maybe we're being too harsh. Maybe it's up north by this failed rendition of an isosceles triangle, except it's not by the water like the trailer indicated, and this appears to be a salt mine or something. The only problem with these pictures are that this is not in the middle of the desert where the brick was placed. And something tells me they look a little different than the concept art. It's really a shame because it calls into question the other projects that Akon is affiliated with that have supposedly helped African communities. For
Guys, didn't Akon tell us from the jump? Wasn't he part of the dumb niggas that go to Vlad TV and snitch on themselves? I swear Akon told us from the jump he's a con artist. Didn't he say that his claim to fame before music was running a automobile ring or something? Some kind of auto theft ring or some shit? Right, guys? Right?
So, whew, boy, unfortunately, see, I was the type nobody really never saw who I was. And I try to keep that cushion between me and the customer. Here's my location, come see me. Like, they was out there like that. So they was the front runners of the whole operation. Now, my two partners just, I would say, got a little too comfortable. They're flowing over me. At the moment, I ain't really, think nothing of it. 2 days later, I'm coming out my house and I see a helicopter hovering. I'm like, damn, helicopters are everywhere. I must have raised the budget, for security in the city or something, because I never really seen this many helicopters. 2 days later after that, I'm leaving the mall and I see another helicopter. So now I'm like, this is 3 times in 1 week. I said, on the floor, hands down, face down. I was like, oh yeah, what the fuck? The basic routine. Man, they locked my ass up, man. I'm sitting there, they're interrogating me. And I'm actually in a stolen car at that moment.
Red-handed.
Red-handed, but it was all legit though. The VIN number was clean. The car was registered, had State Farm insurance, and they couldn't figure out how the hell he did this. So he was like, yo, how do you do this? I said, what do you mean? I'm just a customer. I bought this car. It was used. Somebody sold it to me. They're like, nah, don't worry. We've been trailing you for a minute. We got plenty of surveillance. I said, I don't know what y'all surveilling on there because I'm just hanging out. Then you must have saw who I bought it from if you was watching me. Go chase that nigga. Because me and you, we're in the same position. So, of course, they try to get you to confess and tell on yourself. It never really happened. I go through 6 months of trial in the process of me being held in jail.
They just love to sit in front of that Russian Jewish dude and snitch on themselves, huh?
And then I had a case in a gun charge in Burlington County with Just. So when I beat the case in Atlanta, they had to transfer me over to Burlington to actually.
Come on, guys. Don't fall for the hype, y'all. Don't fall for the hype. And don't touch that dial. As soon as this broadcast ends, there's going to be a 10-second countdown, and the next stream is going to begin automatically. And the next broadcast is one that is very near and dear to me because we're going to talk about reparations. More specifically, I'm going to give you guys an action plan where you can get reparations in 3 months or less. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. Go ahead and stick around for the next broadcast and see what we're going to get into.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners. Raised up the children to worship their images. Set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them. And this shit get way deeper than your pigment.